All right, guys, just want to record a quick segment here for you. And thank you, by the way, for everybody who's expressed concern and sympathy for my potential maybe not COVID cold. I truly appreciate it, but feeling a little bit better already. Sense of taste and smell is still gone to some extent, but it's getting a little bit better. So anyway, thank you very much. All right, so Vivek Ramaswamy and Asa Hutchinson are both going gonzo. They dropped out. So Vivek, of course, dropped out immediately after the Iowa caucus results rolled in. He got about 8% in the results, which is actually right on par with what the polling was leading into it, that final Des Moines Register poll, which honestly, isn't horrible for a guy who literally came out of absolutely nowhere and made a name for himself in a short period of time. I like to think of Vivek as the Republican version of Pete Buttigieg. That's how he strikes me. Or you could say, I think this one's a little unfair to Andrew Yang, but you could also say maybe the Republican version of Andrew Yang. He made himself relevant in a short period of time, but he dropped out, and immediately after it, in fact, in the same speech, he endorsed Trump and said, look, my argument didn't work when I said, to save Trump, you should vote for me, so I'm going to drop out and endorse the man himself. So we'll come back to Vivek in a second. Let's also bring up Asa Hutchinson. Hutchinson just dropped out today. Now, the Asa thing I actually find pretty sad, if I'm being honest with you. He got a grand total of 191 votes, which is either, I think it's 0.02% of the vote in Iowa. Now, does he have a humiliation fetish? Is that why he stayed in Iowa to see the results? Maybe he does. Maybe that's exactly why he decided, I'm going to stay in and see how horrible this is. But, Asa, I just find it kind of adorable, too, because just like Doug Burgum, I think he lives in 1983, right? Like, he's from Arkansas, probably some rural place there. Same with Doug Burgum living in North Dakota or South Dakota or East Dakota or wherever the hell he's from. He's living in 1983. And he thinks, like, well, I'm a governor, right? I balance my budget or whatever, and that's got to be good enough. I'll say, hey, I believe in traditional Republican values, and that'll get us somewhere. No, it is a different era, man, and this is what Asa Hutchinson learned the hard way. It's a different era in the sense that, you need to be a showman. You need to be oozing with charisma. You need to be controversial. That's actually a point that Trump made in his victory speech last night. And by the way, Doug Burgum was there because he had just endorsed him. Talk about sad and pathetic. He was just bashing Trump like a month ago, and all of a sudden he's, genuflecting at his feet. And Trump said about this guy over here, Doug Burgum, such a nice guy, such a handsome guy, but you know what? You know what he learned? He's not controversial enough. Sometimes a little controversy is good. And I looked to Crystal when I heard him say that, and I was like, oh my God. He gets it. Like, Corin was right all along when he said, Trump doesn't actually mean anything he says. Everything he's saying is for the reaction. Everything he's saying is to gin up the controversy to get more people talking about him. He is the king of the idea that there's no such thing as bad press. So he knows that. So Asa Hutchinson, learning the hard way that it's not 1983 anymore, was a very embarrassing showing. I think that's what's going to happen with like non-charismatic, boring, old white politicians from now until the end of time. We're just past that kind of character being able to win certainly a national election. Now, back to Vivek, because he, I think, is the more interesting character. The question is, what did he even do this for, right? And again, I come back to Republican Pete Buttigieg, Republican Andrew Yang. He just wanted to make a name for himself. Potentially now, he spent, I think, $17 million in Iowa, and he's a billionaire, so spending $17 million in Iowa is like not that much to him, and he just bought relevance nationally in the political scene. And so, maybe he wants a position in the Trump administration. By the way, if you hear that noise in the background, that's Kitty playing with and scratching and maybe even eating a cardboard box. So that's fun. Calm down, Salem, please. So he could maybe be in the Trump administration. You already see him on a campaign for Trump relentlessly now. He maybe is trying to angle for some sort of a position in media, maybe angling for running for some other office like Andrew Yang. After he lost the presidential race, he springboarded into running for New York City mayor, and for a while he led the race, even though he ended up losing. So I think that's what he's going to do. But he's ultimately kind of pathetic to me because everybody knows right after January 6th, his actual thoughts on it were like, yeah, this goes too far. Yeah, this was an attempted insurrection. He literally said he cried while he was watching it. He was very critical of Trump for denying the results of the election. And then now he's Trump's biggest ball coddler and sycophant in the world. And it's angling, right? It's angling. It's like you don't know what he actually believes about anything because he's just, he found a lane and he's going to exploit it to his maximum potential. So both of them are out. You got anything? I got Crystal here as well. You got anything else to add to that?
I mean, I'm so shocked that the vote against Trump to support Trump argument didn't work for Vivek. It's a real shocking turn of events there.
Yeah. I remember I pointed that out very early on in the debate when everybody was like, oh, Vivek won the debate. And I was like, he just did an infomercial for Trump. Those people are going to vote for Trump who said he won the debate. Right?
Yeah. And I think after that, when he got clobbered in the polls, after he dominated the debate, that was kind of the end of him even imagining he had a shot.
Yeah. I mean, I thought his argument was clever of look, I love Trump just as much, if not more than you do, but to save Trump, you have to vote for me because they're going to kick him off the ballot. They're going to lock him up, and I'm going to be the one to pardon him and continue the MAGA agenda. I thought that was clever, but it's also far too convoluted and complex for some Trump supporter to grasp, and also totally self-serving and bullshit at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't think it was clever. I thought it was kind of idiotic to be. I understand what he was trying to do. If you really love Trump,
you vote for Vivek.
You vote for Vivek and save Trump somehow. I don't know. It didn't add up to me.
Yeah,
obviously not to the voters either.
No. So anyway, they're out. That now leaves Meatball Ron, Warmonger Nikki, the big man himself, Trump, and then is anybody else still in? Is it just the three now?
Brian Binkley.
Brian Binky. He doesn't count. No, but I think it is just the big three now, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. All right. So there you guys have it. Down goes Vivek. And down goes Asa Hutchinson, or Ada as we call him, for certain reasons.